Hey everyone, my name is trzankofx, and in this video we're going to look at the visualization settings of my solar system digital asset for Houdini. Now, if you don't have the solar system digital asset, you can head on over to my Gumroad. There will be a link in the description. You can grab the live 3D solar system HDA. This HDA builds a live 3D solar system within your Houdini scene, as can be seen here. Right now we are looking at the perspective as if you were standing right here on the origin of the scene, looking out into the night sky, seeing the moon, if we were to look through the moon. Now you can see that it's just straight flat textures, but in the Houdini viewport you can turn on normal lighting, which will create the normal lighting setup for the viewport, which is illuminating from within the sun, which is why the sun is black. The moon looks black, well, because from Berlin right now, on today's date, which is April 12th at about 4 in the afternoon, the moon looks like this. Well, it's pretty dark. So that, in this case, is exactly what we would like to be seeing. So in this video, we're going to look at the visualization settings, but before we do that, please make sure to like and subscribe. There's going to be a little button down here. You can just go ahead and click that and give me some love and support. And then we can just move straight on to talking about the visualization settings. So the visualization settings are pretty straightforward. There's kind of the main settings for visualizing the Earth, the Moon, the Sun, and the orbits. Now, the Earth is turned off by default because sometimes the Moon, or if you were to say programmatically be rendering views of the night sky randomly, entering cities and locations or lat long coordinates into this location prompt here, sometimes the camera will try to look through the Earth because the altitude of these celestial bodies is actually below the horizon. So as a default, the Earth is turned off because for the most part we're looking out from the Earth, not into the Earth, and we don't want the Earth to occlude our view. However, the Earth is there, and it is textured. Ooh, rainbow spinny wheel. That's just because it's a big texture and I'm recording right now. But we will. You can also see that the Earth is where it is, and is correctly located right here. And if we fix our clipping planes to neither clip plane, so we can come within 700 meters, you can see that right on the origin, we are in Berlin. So if I were to throw down Tommy, who's also got some lovely textures to load, boom. It's as if we're Tommy standing on Earth looking out into the night sky. So what does Tommy see from Earth right now? If he were to look at, say, Mars, well, that's what Mars looks like. It's the correct orientation of Mars from right now, from where he's location, and as well as the moon and the other celestial planets. You can even see that the orientation of the moon, if we were to, you can see the white spot is in the correct location, because this is a pretty much physically based model. It's not, perfect, but it works. So, moving on from the main visualization settings, which for one can also be accessed if you select the node and you enter in the viewport, you will be entered into the solar system Python viewport state, and it has all of these kind of main visualizers up here. So if you want to kind of full screen your Houdini view and just go exploring the universe at different locations, or excuse me, the solar system at different locations, you can do that here. The presets are also available in the viewport state, and perhaps some more fun stuff, some overlays to come if that is requested. So if you want, again, the main settings can turn the moon on and off. You can turn the sun on and off if you just want to see the planets. You can turn off the orbit rings. Now remember, these aren't true orbit rings, because they're all circular, because they are all the visual path that the it's a visual approximation, a circular approximation of the path that the planets would travel in 24 hours around your location on the night sky. So this is like if you were to say go to the southern cam, so there's sky south. This is the path that the planets would take across the sky in a given period of time, in 24 hours. 1001, or excuse me, whatever your frame range is. I always default 1001 and 1100. Whatever your frame range here will be set by the time settings to be the day start and the day end, and that will be a 24-hour cycle. So across 24 hours in time, you will get the planets moving across the sky as we orbit and spin around planet Earth. However, we are stationary. Everything else is moving around us. This is to allow for ease of rendering of objects out of a 3D graphics software. So we are also, instead of getting crazy into all these time settings, I'm going to have another video for looking explicitly at time. So let's just kind of get back to the visualization settings. So now that we've talked about the main for visualize settings, there are fine-tune visualizers, and this is basically just everything else. Instead of just having everything all cluttered at once, like having a very overwhelming parameter pane, I just instead kind of tuck everything away if you want to go access those things. So you can go change the colors of the orbits, you can turn off specific planets. If you turn orbits off, you can now click off your planets. Let's see, there's Mars, there's Uranus, yeah. Neptune seems to be out of view right now, but those are the visualization settings for underneath the visualizations tabs, just so the kind of the viewport visualization stuff. And so that's fine tuning. And then among the visualization settings, we should mention the modify tab down here for scale and size. This is the system scale settings, but you can also modify the planet size and settings. And so that you can say, maybe if you would want to, from this southern sky perspective, see the moon just massively, you can just go ahead and scale up the moon. So this is like, this is 3D graphic software. It's like, and if you wanted to, it's not physically accurate, because physical accuracy would send all of these objects like millions and millions and millions of meters away, and trying to render those images as much as I believe Houdini could do that, I just don't want to wait for those rays to have to compute. I just think that just gets very lossy and expensive. So instead, I've brought the entire universe closed down. You can go and watch the Hello World video if you're watching this out of order. I kind of discuss all of the solar scale and the reasons for bringing everything down closer to the planet, why this is a geocentric model. But so you can go check that video for more information on that. But just in regards to visualization, you can scale up all of the planets independently here in the scale and size. So if you did want to maybe normalize the settings, if you were to say try and render like a solar eclipse from Denver, so we can see that there's the solar eclipse happening kind of in the top of the southern sky. And if we were to look at the moon, and maybe physically in the real world, there's only like the moon doesn't perfectly at this exact lat long this exact lat long location. There's not like totality. The moon doesn't completely cover the sun, but you want to kind of force that, you could just make the moon like just a little bit bigger. No one's gonna know. It's okay. It's okay. Physical accuracy doesn't really mean anything in visual effects. So, this is why this is all there. Just have some fun with it. make your visualizers cool. Make some cool solar eclipse, lunar eclipse renderings. Make the sun maybe a little bit bigger so you get like more of like, you know, I don't know, like a nice like occlusion of the moon shadowing the earth or shadowing the sun. You get like a nice kind of bright shape here. You can see you've got Neptune down there, and if you want to balance the composition a little bit more, oops, excuse me, that looks like Uranus. Want to maybe bring Uranus down just a little bit smaller. This is to give you those controls over the rendering that you do of the solar system. So from the given location for your given project. This is visual effects after all. And just one thing to note, if you, which is mentioned in the other video, if you were to set all of these parameters to 1, that would be like a physical scale from where you are standing, or like from like on Earth. So just don't do that. You can, like, you know what I mean? It's like it's a physical model of the solar system and stuff, but like there's really nothing to be gained from doing that. So this is like what I figured out. This is what I found to be the most balanced visualization scale of the planets while maintaining it like really, really big. So you could literally put like an entire like, Houdini scene, like explosion city, whatever, and it generally fits within like the moon's orbit. So you have all the planets kind of doing their thing around. Because the solar system is just so massive. It's so massive that like it's just everything's so far away. Like I wanted to have it so that you could hit F, you could home the viewport, and the clipping planes wouldn't like only show you like a sliver of some of these orbits or these planets. I wanted to bring everything within the scene. But yeah, I'll talk more about that in the Hello World video and the reasons for doing that there. But if that wasn't enough of a reason. But anyways, those are the visualization settings. I hope that enables you to, excuse me, one more thing. There's some extra settings down here. This is the actual like render geometry for the planets. So you can change the resolution here for those textures. So that could be an extra visualization thing for rendering. And then you can again go here and change all of, if you were to go change the texture, this is just the specific name and texture for all of the planets. These are sourced from NASA and I think another location like free solarsystemtextures.com. They're great, free, royalty free. Go ahead and use them. And yeah, just have fun rendering the solar system. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to make plenty more videos on all the rest of the parameters. So if there's anything you feel like you don't quite understand in this video, just go look at the playlist, the moon playlist, which I'll include on YouTube, and you can hopefully find answers to all of your questions there. If not, please feel free to email me at trzankofx.com. And other than that, please go grab the Solar System HDA if you haven't already on my Gumroad. There's a link in the description. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe this video for more. Thanks, and I will see you next time.